From Greater Nevada Field, it's the second leg of a three-game homestand for Reno 1868. They'll draw down on the invaders from the south, Los Zorros of Fresno FC, a team that leads them by 3 points in the standings. Good evening. Ghazal Hassan sitting in for Alex Margulies along with Brian Slusser. And for the 1868s, they're playing the team that's right in front of them, 3 points ahead of them in the Western Conference standings in Fresno FC.
Yeah, we should have a great matchup tonight. Fresno is looking to keep in second place, and Reno's looking to retake second place. But Reno's struggled on defense lately, especially on their transition, and hopefully they can correct that tonight and get a result.
Brian, you mentioned the struggles, have not won at home since July 27th, haven't won overall since August 3rd. How do they come out of this tailspin?
It's going to be transition on the defense. That's where we've been really weak. If they can handle that and then score the goals when they get their opportunities, that's been another place that they've been falling short. So if they can do that, they'll come away with a win tonight.
To address that, they brought in some new blood. Matria Triani makes his first appearance for Reno 1868. They've also brought in Luis Paradela, the Cuban national, as well. He's been with the team for a while, his first day on the 18.
Yeah, it looks like he might get in the game today, and they're going to look for him to kind of play the 10 position and slide underneath Herzog tonight and give him some support.
And Brian, on the Fresno side, we got the player from Southern California, Jaime Chavez. He's had the hot hand for Fresno FC, 5 goals in the last 5 games.
Yeah, he's got 8 goals total, and they'll be looking for him to be their big goal scorer tonight, as always. And so we're looking to see great things from Chavez.
We're back with USL Championship Soccer on Nevada Sports Net. Welcome back, Greater Nevada Field. Ghazal Hassan with you, sitting in for Alex Margulies, Brian Slusser alongside. USL Championship action, Reno 1868 against Fresno FC, a battle between the second and third place teams in the Western Conference. We'll take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visitors, Los Zorros of Fresno FC. They've made a couple of modifications in their lineup. They're, of course, led by Jaime Chavez. He scored 5 goals in his last 5 games. He's a nominee for USL Player of the Month.
Yeah, he's up to 8 goals. He's one of their leading goal scorers and also one of their leading playmakers. But also be aware that Mr. Del Campo has scored also 2 goals in the last 3 games, winning goals at that. So we'll have to watch out for him.
Alex Cooper, we didn't expect to see him in the lineup. He is back in the lineup. What does he bring for Fresno FC?
He's been in every game pretty much until he got injured, so they're lucky to have him back tonight. So we'll look for good things from him as well.
Fresno FC coming off a 2-1 loss on the road last weekend against Tulsa. Now we'll flip over to Reno 1868 and a couple of changes in the lineup. I know you had a big smile on your face when you saw Sam Gleadle in the starting lineup, Brian.
Yeah, I've been real impressed with what he's done this year, and it's good to see that he's in the lineup with Mendiola and Mafeka and Gasipli. I've been looking to see him with this combination for a while, so we'll see what they can do.
We'll see Zach Carroll back on the back line as well. Any comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, he brings leadership to the team, so we welcome him back as well. But look for Sam Gleadle to play just under Herzog and probably get some goals, because every time he comes in, he seems to get a goal here and there. But he does add the energy to the team when they need it.
We mentioned in the opening both Mattia Triani, a new player, and Luis Paradela Diaz on the roster, on the 18 actually, for Reno 1868. They could see action tonight, Brian.
Yeah, and I think Reno's brought them in because they've really been missing Brian Brown, trying to find somebody to play underneath Herzog and give him a little help. And I think both of those players will bring that to the table.
A bit of a similarity in styles. Both these teams like to get aggressive in the offensive zone, and Reno obviously gets the early burst here, but it'll be going back the other way for Fresno. Get a look at Zach Ellis Hayden. He'll have the free kick, or have the throw in, excuse me. Fresno in the attack. And now a free kick coming up.
You can already see this game starting off a little bit of intensity already.
Playoff atmosphere here, second place against third place in the Western Conference. We'll get into why that's important as the game progresses with regard to the playoff configuration. A new configuration in the USL Championship playoffs this year. Added a couple of teams to the jumble. Fresno with possession. Daly sends it across. Now they're going to go back over to Mickey Daly. Into the offensive zone, 50-50 ball, and it'll go to Bersano for Reno 1868. Bersano getting the start in goal tonight.
Yeah, it's good. Good to get him in, get some time. He's been great all season, so look for him to keep Fresno out of the goal.
Fresno loves being aggressive in the offensive zone, making them susceptible to the counterattack. And here's Fresno now trying to play it back into the offensive side, but it'll roll over the touchline. Throw in for Reno 1868. No score just underway here. I'm Ghazal Hassan sitting in for Alex Margulies. Brian Slusser alongside. Working that right side off the throw-in. Ball will remain with Reno.
Well, based on the lineup, we thought Gleadle might be up there, up top with Herzog, but it looks like he's out on more on the left-hand side.
Karams off of Lindo Mafeka, and it'll go over to Fresno. Elijah Martin was the player matched up with Mafeka. Fresno in their second year of existence, the third year for Reno 1868. Here's the cross, headed out. A lot of white shirts around there battling. Both these teams coming off losses, but Fresno has been playing better of late. Zachary Ellis Hayden tangled up with Gleadle.
Yeah, that's what Gleadle brings to the table. He'll out-hustle you all game long.
What's been the issue? I mean, we talked in the open about the fact that Reno is struggling. Is just one of those things where over the course of a long season, you're going to have stretches like this, Brian?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to keep the motor running all the time, and then sometimes you just slip up. And then other times, you know, different organizations have different things they have to do, and being linked in with a MLS team, sometimes you're asked to play players in different places or in different configurations, and that can hamper what you're trying to do as a team.
Here's Kurimoto getting into the mix. Now he'll go back outside for Ellis Hayden. Sent to the other side of the box. chased down by Fresno by Jackson, the Brazilian. Reno in the blue kits, the white jerseys for Fresno, and a quick touch there, but it'll go over to Reno. Mickey Daly was in on the play for Fresno. So the second of we'll get another look at it, second of 3 straight home games for Reno 1868, and a little bit of a concern because you haven't won a match since August 3rd, but you haven't won at home since July 27th. It's got to be wearing on some of these guys.
Yeah, they really need this game tonight, and you can see they're coming out with energy, and they really want it.
Both teams coming out with some energy, trying to advance into the offensive zone, but the back lines have been up to the challenge on both sides.
They're both trying to gain some separation between each other, and then you look below them, and you got a race for those other spots to get into the playoff. I mean, anywhere from the 14th team all the way to the 6th has a chance to get in. Just got to get on a run, and Reno needs to get on a run here.
Jackson Pereira bangs it over the crossbar, and now Reno coming the other way on the right side. In the neutral zone, now Fresno on the offense.
Well, so far, Reno's looking much more organized than they were the last couple games.
I was asking you before the game, when you're not playing well sometimes as a coach, is the time off counterproductive sometimes, but maybe give Reno to get some time to kind of rest up, heal up a little bit, and then strategize as Guido sends it back. A little dangerous play, but nice job by Bersano to get it out of there. Zachary Ellis Hayden, the Canadian, he's from Kitchener, Ontario, for Fresno. Will toss it in. Good job to get it out. Here's Kasipli ahead for Reno, and the ball's still loose. Kasipli now again maintaining control. It'll carry him over the touch line. 7th minute here. Greater Nevada Field, no score. Reno and Fresno. Carroll back there. Lacroix, quick touch. I don't know, you're an old soccer guy. Whenever I see number 6, think about Franz Beckenbauer. That was like his number. And
yeah, the king of soccer, really, in Germany. Whenever you mention his name, you know that you're getting the best.
Certain positions coming up had certain numbers. If you were that back line sweeper stopper, you wear 6. The big scorer would always wear 10. I guess the big scorers still always wear 10, huh?
Yeah, they want that number.
Lacroix
but
for Reno.
The 6 is that workhorse. He's the one that dictates the speed of play, gets people organized in the midfield. So you really count on that number 6. And Beckenbauer is definitely one of the greatest to ever play the game in that position.
Janjigian playing catch with William Seymour there. Now Seymour regains it. Offensive opportunity coming up for Reno, but no. Now, we're watching the last couple of matches for both these teams. They seem to be susceptible to the counterattack. Nothing is really established yet. Is there a way to work on that as it's cleared across?
Yeah, I mean, what you try to do is get into training and really work on, not being able to switch on and off from offense to defense without that hesitation. Sometimes players want to go, I messed up, and instead of doing that, it's just more about getting the ball back right away.
Daly with it, but instead this will be Zachary Ellis Hayden for Fresno. No score into the 9th minute. Working that right side. Some physical play. William Seymour getting in, doing some of the dirty work. Circling back is Mafeka. 2nd place against 3rd place. Fresno 3 points in front of Reno, so a win for 1868 would tie them in the standings. It would be a big lift for them, too, to start the month of September. Sipley ahead.
It's a good time to get things rolling. Get back on track.
Kasipli lining up on the kick. As Kaffa backs off. Janjigian, last time these two teams played, had a goal, but it was an own goal. Reno and Fresno, they've played thrice. Each one has been a draw.
Yeah, so you can look forward to a possible stalemate tonight, but hopefully we'll get some goals. And right now you can see the defense of both teams has been pretty organized. They understand that both teams are dangerous on the counterattack, dangerous in possession.
Gleedle trying to make something happen against Zachary Ellis-Hayden. And you mentioned you liked the insertion of Gleedle into the starting lineup, potentially to maybe work something with Mendiola.
Yeah, I think with Mendiola on the right and Sam on the left, gives you speed on the wings. And like I said, it just gives you that hustle factor. Mendiola and both Sam work hard all game. And they can wear you down over time.
CJ Cochran is the keeper for Fresno. He had 7 saves last time these two teams got together. Fresno now in the box. Kaffa sends it back for Samura. Working the right side. Trying to create an opportunity, but it'll just bang into the left side of the net beyond the post. See how that developed from the outside. Karam off of Zach Carroll.
Well, and going back to Mendiola, you know, he's their assist leader this year and their main playmaker, so we're hoping to see him do the same thing. He plays great balls, got a lovely touch.
Creeping into the 12th minute, no score. Opportunity for Fresno, but a little bit airborne. Goal kick coming the other way for Matt Bersano, who gets this start in for Reno 1868. He is the goalkeeper tonight. At midfield.
He got lucky not to have it picked off there as tried to thread it through the small hole.
Nothing sustained so far really for either team with regard to scoring chances.
You know, it looks like both teams are really focused on their defensive shape at training, and they don't want to give up easy goals.
Coming off a loss, sometimes is that a coaching strategy where you play a little bit more tightly defensively and then kind of see what develops to open it up later in the match?
Well, I'm always a believer that defend first, because at the very least, if you can keep the score 0-0, you're giving yourself a chance to win. And if you play great defense and you got a good counterattack, you open up those opportunities even more. And then once you can put it all together and you have your defense, you got your counterattack, and then you can possess in the final third of the field, which Reno's usually pretty good at. If they can get back to doing that, they'll be successful.
Janjian sends it ahead, but he'll stay with Fresno. Pereira keeps it alive. Eight matches remain on the regular season slate, so you're kind of in the home stretch now.
Yeah, it's crunch time. No messing around now. Every game counts at this point.
Now, obviously, barring any kind of catastrophe, Reno 1868, they're going to be in the playoffs, but the idea, I guess, is you want to be playing well when you get to the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, well, and you want the home field advantage. You want people to come play at your house, especially when you're at altitude. Take advantage of those opportunities.
Now, Reno did go get a road win last year in the first round of the playoffs, but the way you're looking at it with the new configuration, being first or second, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You get a significant advantage because your opponent now is going to play an extra game. Reno on the attack. Here's the cross, but be scooped up, and Cochran will send it out for Fresno. Both teams kind of feeling each other. I agree with you, though. The energy for Reno has been very good here in the early going.
Yeah, much better than the San Antonio game, and we're seeing them really go at it. And Reno's had a bit more of the ball late in the last 5 minutes, and hopefully they can keep that going. But Fresno's done a good job of making it hard to break them down. They're shifting well, moving into spaces, pressing when they need to.
Another joust right there in the middle. A foul will go the other way. So it'll be a free kick for Reno. Nice attempt there. A couple of guys getting tangled up. Martin for Reno with Seymour for, Martin for Fresno with Seymour for Reno. Thomas Janjigian, anchor in the back line. What are you trying to set up here in terms of trying to get a scoring chance? You send it up the right side.
You know, it looks like right now they're just trying to feel out Fresno's defense, move the ball around, and try to find holes. And every time you move the ball, then players have to move. You hope they don't, and those holes will open up and you can get through them.
Here's Mendiola. He's on Herzog's side.
Fresno's done a good job of, closing down those passing lanes, not like letting things through.
Seymour. Mendiola, quick touch. 16th minute here at Greater Nevada Field.
That's really nice from Reno. Moving the ball pretty quick there.
Lacroix into the box. Lacroix ahead. Cleared out. Can they generate a counterattack? There's Chavez, who's the big scorer, and the whistle the other way. Is there a strategy when you're playing a guy who's got the hot hand the way Jaime Chavez has, or just a matter of you need to be aware of him? Is that kind of how it works?
Well, it really, you can look at it as two ways. Do you want to just take him away, or do you want to force the ball into spaces where he can't get it? Do you want to just make the ball go left or right and keep the ball from him, or do you man mark him? And but the main thing is just if he can't get the ball, he can't score.
Play it out into the corner.
And where Reno's just really having a hard time is on the transition. When they're organized, they're really hard to break down. But in transition is where they've struggled, and hopefully they've been able to work on that this last week or two and fix that problem. And so far tonight looks like they've done that.
A bit of confusion there on the sideline. Alex Cooper will toss it in for Fresno. Kaffa, the Argentine, and chance a little bit better than it looked. Not much pace on that one, though, Brian.
No runners in the box, really. Just kind of standing in there. Easy to deal with.
Mafeka for Reno. No score, 18th minute. Kaffa.
And that.
Again, that looked like fairly routine, but Kaffa, he can boom it when he has to.
Yeah, I thought he must have felt like he could take it from there. But it's good. Sometimes you want to take those long shots. That way you can get them to pressure you and then work your way in. So you got to be a threat from the outside in order to work yourself back inside.
Both teams coming out with pretty good energy in the early going. You'd expect it. Second place against third place. Reno currently 3 points behind Fresno. Los Zorros just in their second year of existence. Reno obviously got a year on them. But burgeoning into a little bit of a rivalry. Here's an opportunity. Here's Mendiola. Mendiola sending it ahead. Nice job. He had Herzog in his sights, but Cochran saw them both, and fairly easy play for him.
Yeah, that was an easy read for him, and he did what he's supposed to do.
And Mendiola doing what he's supposed to do, making things happen as a playmaker. Here's Daly, the kid out of Santa Rosa by way of Cal State LA, and now near midfield.
That's well played. Yeah, they held it up there. I would have liked to see him just go on the counterattack there, because once Fresno's gotten into position, they've been doing a good job cutting out those passing lanes. It would be nice for Murfeka just to take off and go at him there.
Is that one player's decision, or is that kind of a scheme off what you read? Here's an opportunity for Gleadle.
That was Murfeka's decision there.
Herzog trying to get it across. So we got the three guys you talked about. Here's Mendiola. To Herzog, try the header. No, it won't. It'll be punched out by Fresno, and Ellis Hayden slowing it down. He'll clear it up the right side.
It almost looked like Herzog wasn't going for goal there. He was trying to just play it back into Gleadle, and didn't work out.
I see what you said, though, about having them both close in the box there, the presence of both goal scorers.
Well, it was good. They got three guys in the box. It was a good opportunity.
Here's Lacroix.
But so far, I've liked what I've seen from the Mendiola-Gleadle combination. This is a pretty good lineup for Reno.
Yeah, certainly infused some energy that they needed, as you were saying. Did not look like this against Portland last week.
No, not at all.
Up the right side.
This is more of what we expect from Reno 68.
Here's Mendiola. Across in front of the 6-foot box. Look at that! Look at that opportunity again. Across, there's nobody there to field it.
Yeah, just a little off. He was going for Herzog, but maybe Gleadle might have been the better choice. But as long as they keep pushing like they're doing, you kind of feel like a goal might come here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a strategy. This is something Fresno does. They really kind of push the offensive zone against the opponent. And in sports in general, if you're good at doing something, you don't like it when other teams do it to you, and that's what Reno's done here in the early going as Lacroix with the throw-in.
Well, this is kind of what we expected of Reno. I mean, all season long, they've been the better possession team. They've held more possession. There's only been really a few games where they've had to go back and forth, like against Phoenix, who has got a great counterattack and a good possession team. And, of course, they've just been on a win streak. And we're always talking about Asante and John and how many goals they have this year.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is much better from Reno. Closing down spaces, getting pressure on the ball.
We talked about the lineup for Reno, but a couple of surprises. And, I guess it's that time of year. I expected to see Lawal in the starting lineup for Fresno. He is not in the starting lineup, and neither is Diego Casillas, kind of one of their playmakers as well.
Well, and Johnson's out of their lineup as well, and he played the last 24 games. So I guess you finally need a rest at some point.
Get a look at Bersano and Cochran, the keepers, respectively, for Reno 1868 and Los Zorros, Fresno FC. Head coach for Fresno, Adam Smith. In his second year, Ian Russell, of course, the head man for Reno 1868. Kaffa awaiting permission for the kick.
And for those guys playing tonight, Cochran and Del Campo, they've been in every minute of every game.
And score off the rebound. Fresno jumps on top, and guess who? Jaime Chavez. Kaffa initiated, and Bersano kind of played it off his chest. Chavez there on the spot. We get another look.
Yeah, that's a poacher's goal. That's what good nines will do to you, especially when you make a horrible mistake like that. And Bersano's not going to be happy with himself.
So 1-0 now in favor of Fresno. And obviously the goal to Chavez, he's now scored 6 times in his last 6 games. But Kaffa made that happen. He's kind of the set-piece specialist. And it was just, if Bersano fields that cleanly, he just throws it back the other way, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like an easy save for Bersano there and just made a mess of it. And that's unfortunate because Reno was really having the run of play.
So Los Zorros with the early score.
And then defensively, Reno didn't react. I mean, you would hope that that shot comes in, and Blues are also running in with whites there.
Now, both these teams coming off losses. Obviously, the first goal pretty important just from a momentum morale standpoint as Fresno goes up on top 1-0.
Well, especially if you're the away team, and now you got the goal. You're playing at altitude. Now you don't have to chase the game. Now they can really sit back, defend properly, and then work on a defend and counterattack system. And now it really puts the pressure on Reno to have to break them down.
Particularly at a point in their schedule where the production on the offensive side isn't what it's been most of the year. Reno on the season has scored 12 more goals than Fresno, but of late they've not really been that productive. Just 6 goals over the last 4 matches for Reno 1868.
I think Reno's really been struggling to find somebody to get up there with Herzog and take a little pressure off him and get another goal scorer.
Yeah, it's true. You factor in, Herzog's been fairly prolific, but not much help otherwise in terms of the scoring. Quick touch for Herzog. Mafeka with a touch, but now coming the other way is Fresno. 26th minute. Reno, first blood, Jaime Chavez. Off the set piece kick by Juan Pablo Caffa. Get a look at Richards.
Well, then going back to the stats for Chavez, we were talking about. He's had 8 shots and 8 goals, and now he's 9 and 9.
9 for 9. Wow, matching the number on his back. So here we go, another set piece opportunity, and here's Caffa. Now he has an interesting nickname. They call him the violinist of the viaduct. He apparently doesn't like that nickname, but made a motion to playing the violin after scoring a goal when he was playing in La Liga, and it kind of stuck with him. Played in Spain and Greece, Ecuador and Argentina, but he enjoys being in the U.S. Played at Tulsa before he went to Fresno. I was watching an interview with him, and he hinted that he likes Fresno a little better than he liked Tulsa. I mean, you're in California, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been to both, and I would agree with him.
Okay. Okay. Ryan Slusser has spoken. What are some things Reno can do to try to get an opportunity here to get back even here?
Well, I don't think they have to change too much. I mean, they're having success. They're getting crosses in. But we are going back to what even what Ian Russell was said in a comment, that we just got to do better at finishing and getting opportunities and not just taking advantage of those opportunities and then giving away goals that really shouldn't be given away.
Caffa sends it ahead and Carroll punches it out of there, but it'll stay with Fresno. Los Zorros try to set something up. Alex Cooper will toss it in. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right. I was just going to say that if Reno can just keep it up, they don't have to panic. They've got plenty of time in the game. You just got to stick with your game plan. It seems to be working.
It's a shame they had a couple of opportunities in the box, and then all of a sudden Fresno comes the other way and gets the goal. Pereira lets it go. Bersano's not going to let that one go by. Shinjigian. He's got Lacroix. Moving it around is Reno 1868. They'll try the right side now. Good reset by Reno.
It's a good build-up. They just need to keep moving the ball around and really they need to start, you were asking what they could do better. They're getting Richards and Lacroix involved a little bit more. And here we are. We got Richards getting involved and picked up a foul on the top of the box.
Kasipli sends it into Richards, and Richards picks up the foul. Look at it again. Got tangled up there with Elijah Martin for Fresno, who is the guilty party. Cochran now communicating. Set piece opportunity for Reno here. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Mafeka there, setting things up. Get a look at Herzog. Looks like he's going to be marked by Kurimoto. Kasipli standing next to Mafeka. 1-0 Fresno. We're in the 30th minute. Good shot there. Kasipli sends it ahead into the wall. Enveloped by white shirts. Daly trying to send it out, but back over the crossbar. And Cochran will get an opportunity.
Yeah, that wasn't the best effort from Kasipli. Looked like he was just trying to be too perfect when sometimes you just need to hit it with confidence.
CJ Cochran in his second year with Fresno. Kasipli now. This is Lacroix. Seymour on the right side now with Richards. Kaffa back the other way against Seymour. Here's Pereira with a boomer. Too high. They've liked that long kind of booming kick from just above the 18-yard box, Brian.
Well, yeah, they've scored quite a few goals from out there, so why not? And again, you know, you start hitting good shots from out there, and that's what's happened to Reno. They've been giving up shots at the top of the 18 and getting scored on. So maybe they've just watched the film and decided that they'll hit them from out there as well. And if you have success from out there, then what happens is now the defense has to pressure the ball, and that'll open up pockets in behind the defense.
Yeah, your coaching mind's kind of clicking because you forget how much of gamesmanship is setting up things for later, especially when you have a lead. So Fresno wants to get them thinking about those boomers, so obviously maybe later down the road they switch the tendency up and maybe get an odd opportunity. But Reno on the attack. Lacroix gets past Ellis Hayden. He still has control. Outside the 18. Marked up there by Pereira. Reset for 1868.
Yeah, Lacroix didn't have anywhere to go there, and nobody's really moving off the ball. He's almost 1v3. And I think that's another spot where Reno tends to not be as creative as they can be in that final third.
1868, Brian, looked pretty fluid a couple times earlier down the field.
Yeah, they're doing good from the the back third to the middle third, and it's just that final third we're struggling to get something going. The crosses are coming in, but Herzog's probably the tallest guy up there, and then everyone else is a little bit shorter. So I don't know if crossing is going to be the way to get in on Fresno.
Ian Russell changed a couple things up in the starting lineup for this match. Fresno with the early lead, though. And they were changes that Brian Slessor approved of. So I'm watching those a little more keenly, Brian. But, I mean, all joking aside, Gleadle has definitely looked pretty active in the early going for Reno as Fresno breaking the other way. 1-on-2, and down goes Jaime Chavez. Your palms are out. That means something.
Yeah, it looks like they picked up a penalty kick here. Looked a little soft to me.
So penalty kick coming up. Last time, they had a free kick. That's how they got their goal. Kaffa sent it in, and Chavez boomed home the rebound.
That's the thing about soccer sometimes. You You think you're on a roll and you're doing well, and then all of a sudden the ball's in the back of your net, and you're wondering what happened.
Oh, wow. So here it is. Kaffa's going to get the opportunity. Juan Pablo Kaffa scores. 2-0 Fresno.
Now, calm and cool as you like, right into the corner.
So 35th minute on the penalty kick. Low right corner. Obviously, this is not how Reno 1868 wanted this first half to unfold. Two-goal lead now for the road team.
Yeah, just two little unfortunate errors after 34 minutes of playing really well, and it's kind of been the story the last week or two.
Now, the foul in the box, is that how it's typically called, or did you think it might have been a little bit? You said it was a little
I'd
soft.
like to see it again, but it looked like he went down, pretty easy.
Some work to do for Reno 1868. Stakes are high here. Second place team and third place team playing. Reno began the evening 3 points behind Fresno. They've not won on their home field since July. Their last win overall came on August 3rd, so it's been more than a month. Not looking good thus far, but we got some time, Ryan.
Yeah, there's time. I feel if Reno can get a goal back before halftime.
Pereira had an opportunity in the box, but nice job playing it out. I believe that was Seymour doing the job for Reno.
Again,
Herzog and Cochran mixing it up.
Oh, it looked like Herzog was going to pick that off and put it in the back of the net.
Now a whistle. Seymour hits the turf. Conversation with Elijah Martin. Take another look. Martin there. A little bit of love tap there.
Yeah, and a bit late.
Kasipley. Sends it in. Janjigian with the opportunity, but wide left. Cochran and Kaffa have some words. We go to the 37th minute. Fresno up on Reno 2-0. You mentioned earlier Cochran's played in every match for Fresno. In 25 matches entering the night, 26 goals allowed. Pretty good ratio.
Yeah, I think Fresno's fifth or sixth in the league as far as goals let in. And that's been their strength, because you were saying before they haven't scored as many goals as Reno, but what they have done well is keeping people out.
Makes sense. Their head coach, Adam Smith, was a goalkeeping coach for the Portland Timbers some years ago. Reno with trying to get an opportunity to score here. Offense has really slowed down. Both teams came out pretty spirited with good energy, but Fresno has kind of taken the wind out of the sails of Reno 1868. Goal by Jaime Chavez, his sixth in as many games, and then a penalty kick off the foot of Juan Pablo Kaffa in the 34th minute. Sending it in front, and it'll be cleared out. Kurimoto playing a little two-man game on the right side with Zachary Ellis-Hayden.
Other than those two goals, Fresno hasn't looked very dangerous on the offensive attack.
Reno's done a nice job kind of bottling them up. Aside from the penalty, obviously, and the Chavez goal came off a misplay on the kick in by Kaffa. Bersano just didn't corral it cleanly, and Chavez sent it home. Casipli will advance. Now Reno will try the right side. Fun night here in Reno. Had the Legends match before this one.
Yeah, and the fans were enjoying that immensely. Having a good time.
Some old players from Guadalajara Chivas.
Yeah, we had a few goals in that game.
Well, the advantage you get here early, and I was wondering why there was people lined up outside, and then they informed me, oh yeah, there's going to be a game before the USL match tonight. I like that much of the crowd has stayed though. That's a good thing for the USL and for the Reno 1868. Lacroix trying to make something happen. It's Jen Jigian.
Well, anytime number 2's playing number 3, it's a good idea to get out and watch some soccer. Get the kids out. It's a great way for kids to learn how to develop as a player. Even showing up to the warm-up and watching how the players conduct themselves as professionals is good for the kids to see.
Casipli. Richards. Herzog trying to find Herzog in front. It's run out. Kaffa was trying to slide down and keep it in, but Richards just throw it back in. Now the Reno faithful want the whistle there in the box.
Huh, I would say that one looked about as soft as the one he gave to Fresno.
Battle in front. Sam Gleedle mixing it up. Casipli sends it in, trying to chase it down is Herzog, but it'll come back to Fresno. Crossing into the 42nd minute, 2-0 Fresno with the lead. Off the foot of Chavez and Kaffa. Richards battling. He'll sweep it up the right side, but it'll come back the other way with Elijah Martin. Alex Cooper sends it in, and it's headed out. Reno with possession. Let's Gleedle send it back. And Bersano will just bump it up to Casipli. Running on the left side is Gleedle. Gleedle momentarily dispossessed. And a whistle comes, and Gleedle didn't like that one. Tangled up with Ellis Hayden.
Yeah, another dive there. And that's what Gleedle gives you. You know, that nice ball over the top. He was able to run that down. Gives you that speed, that hustle. Unfortunately, the ref fell for the flop.
In the box again, Bersano a little more aggressive on that. Elijah Martin was on the doorstep. And Bersano plucked that away as Reno will come back the other way. Moments waning here in the first stanza. 44th minute, Fresno 2, Reno 0. Ooh, a little bit of a, oh wow. That was that NSN sign, Nevada Sportsnet sign. Cooper looking down to help up Herzog.
I'll watch that again.
Ooh,
He reached over and slapped him in the face.
Boubacar Diallo keeping the peace there, the official on that side. Now Alex Cooper arguing his case. There'll be a yellow card issued.
Yeah, hand to face. That'll get you a yellow card. Let's see if they're going to keep this as a throw-in. The last minute's coming up to try to get one back before going into the locker room.
Richards, here's Kasipli. Janjigian backpedaling. 45th minute, we'll see how much time they add. Key matchup here for a couple of different reasons. Reno in third place, 3 points behind Fresno, who's in second place, but Reno just want to get a win on the board, Brian. Been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you wish the best for them, and they've come out and they started off strong. They were playing good, and then all of a sudden, the fate turned on them. But I think they could get back in this.
Nice job by Kasipli to get it in there. And that Gledo running on the outside. Just couldn't quite get there in time. I mean, you're a coach, and you know this, though. Over the course of a long season, if you're playing 30 games and you win, 12 right out of the box, and you slow down a little bit and you end up with 17, maybe you were meant to finish with 17, and just, the way it was distributed, right?
Well, Reno had gone on a run there of wins, and they had their own streak going. Then they met up with Phoenix, and things kind of turned the other way. You don't know if teams are just figuring out, looking at tape, figuring things out, and throwing different looks at Reno other than what Reno expected. But then there's games like this where you're playing well and you just have, just unlucky.
When the energy is up and you make a mistake and it costs you, it can really pull the wind out of the sails. We saw it a little bit to Reno. I mean, I think the effort is still there, but that's got to be deflating.
Yeah, it's really hard to come back when you're playing well and you have those mistakes. But they're professionals, so it's something they've seen before. They should be able to bounce back from. And as we were saying, they really haven't played bad, and there's no reason to get away from what they were doing.
2 minutes added, so we're into the 47th minute, which should be the last one, as Cooper sends this one in. Bersano will just glove it. 2-0 Fresno. Los Zorros come north. First 45 have been pretty kind to them.
And now what Reno really has to be careful with is they're getting to a point where they're entering the second half. They got to make sure that they send guys forward, but not too many forward where they get beat on Fresno's counterattack.
Mafeka with a touch, and that's it. So the first half will conclude with Fresno leading Reno 2-0. I'm Gonzalo Sun. He's Brian Slusser. We're back with more USL Championship Soccer on Nevada Sports Net.
top of the box, strikes it true, back of the net. Oh, what a finish, Bustamante.
Maybe attempted an amazing goal. Or maybe a goal of the year candidate from Rodrigo da Costa.
Here we go again. Kadima! Oh, what a strike.
Has been in the 11. And there's an effort from distance with Irving off his line. And that's a goal for the highlight reel there.
Oberg there. Plua, shot, goal! Plua with the bicycle! Conrad Plua! Dillon goes for goal. Oh, what a strike from Justin Dillon! Now Gallardo for his brace tonight. Joe Gallardo. A nutmeg of St. Phil. What an opportunity for Joe Gallardo. A brace. And it's 4 goals for the Richmond Kickers. Mikey Rowe now. Rowe takes it on and it's in. What a strike. And Tormenta. Very patient. Here's Bermudez now back on his left foot. A curler for the top corner. Oh, what a goal. Bermudez. Torre will shoot. Oh. He will score. Torre. Let's just say that he walked in. Oh, something. Something's good. Oh my goodness. Lubin, what a save. Outstanding individual effort. They stand together.
Coming off just 2 days rest, Tacoma playing Sacramento tonight on the road. Right now, Sacramento leads Tacoma in the 18th minute 1-0. Solomon Asante of Phoenix netted his 20th goal of the season last Saturday, only the 7th player in the USFL Championship history to reach that mark in a single season. He also set a single season record for most combined regular season goals and assists in league history. Austin holds the 4th spot right now at 39 points, the final spot to be guaranteed to host a conference quarterfinal in late October. They played Colorado Springs earlier tonight. They played to a 1-1 draw. All right, Brian Slusser back in here. Gonzalo Hassan sitting in for Alex Margulies. And let's look at the standings in the Western Conference now. The playoff configuration has changed in the Western Conference. Now the top 10 teams get in, and in the first round, 7 will play 10, 8 will play 9. That's what we were talking about. It's pretty imperative. If you get the 1 or the 2 seed, you're going to play a team that's had to already play a game a little bit and maybe a little bit fatigued.
Yeah, and right now you don't know who you're going to get. LA now can move into the 4th spot, right behind Austin for that 5th spot. If they pick up, that'll put them at 39, puts Austin at 40. So it's a battle for those last, 4 through 10 is going to be a battle for everybody. Even the guys who are in 13th and 14th place still have a chance to move up.
And you mentioned it earlier, imperative, especially for Reno, you want to get that home game for that first round quarterfinal, correct?
Oh, you definitely would love to have it, but just getting into the playoffs, gives you a chance. But you want that home field advantage, and you want it throughout the playoffs if you can get it. And if you don't have to play an extra game, that's even better.
Yeah, well, I mean, Reno right now not looking too good. They're down 2-0 here at the half to Fresno, but 45 minutes of soccer coming up, and they could potentially move back into a tie for second place. Reno 1868 trails Fresno 2-0. USL Championship Soccer on the Nevada Sports Net. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.
Mexico plays OKC tomorrow. They could jump right up into this area.
Welcome back to Greater Nevada Field. Fresno 2-0 over Reno 1868. I'm Ghazal Hassan sitting in for Alex Margulies along with Brian Slusser. And we'll get a look at some first half highlights. And most of the highlights, Brian, were on the Fresno side. But here's a look at an opportunity for Reno as Mendiola trying to set something up, sends it in front, but a nice save by Cochran. 23rd minute, Kafa deflects off of Bersano, and then there's Jaime Chavez to clean up his 6th goal in as many games.
Yeah, unfortunate for Bersano not being able to hold on to the ball there. And of course, you got a goal scorer like Chavez, who just every time he touches the ball, it seems to hit the net.
35th minute, the penalty shot by Kafa makes it 2-0. You thought the foul there a little bit soft, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, I would like to see the replay again there, but he looked like he went down pretty easy, and he may have touched him a little bit, but it is what it is, and we are where we are, and Reno's just got to do a better job of taking advantage of their chances. I mean, they've been playing balls into the box. They're getting rudders in there. Just unfortunate not to get on the end of them.
Well, what I observe is the most unfortunate thing in the first half was when Reno comes out in the early going with such good energy, and then to have that goal at the 23rd minute just really kind of deflated them. And you can tell they were a little bit sluggish going forward and perhaps squandered some opportunities in the offensive zone against Fresno. But putting that aside now, how do they need to come out here in the second half?
Well, they need to keep that energy. They need to keep a positive attitude. I think, these last 3 games, that's what they've been going through, is they're just really getting deflated. And then that first goal off a mistake from Bersano, that's where it's really difficult. And that's really when you tell you're a real professional, that you can keep your head, come back, still battle, and Reno's still in this. They get one, the 2-0 lead is one of the worst leads. All of a sudden you get a goal, the other team starts to panic a little bit, then you get the second, things start rolling, energy changes. Next thing you know, you're up 3-2. Reno knows this better than anybody. At the beginning of the season, they were up 2-0 a few times and ended up giving up 3 goals in losses. So let's just hope that Reno can come back and do the same.
We were looking at the standings earlier in the halftime show as we get a look there at C.J. Cochran, who's the keeper for Fresno. And looking at it now, Austin got the draw today, so they got their 40th point. But between 5th place and 14th place, that's 9 spots, separated by 8 points, which is really nothing when you consider we got a month of the season to go.
Yeah, it really is nothing. You figure Galaxy, moves up to probably 5th tonight, depending on how things go. New Mexico then plays OKC. They have a chance to even shoot from there, up to, 7th, 8th spot if they, with that win. So, I mean, everything's so tight right now. Every point counts. You want that draw away from home, and if you can get the win like Fresno's doing right now, I mean, they're loving life.
Well, history on the side of Reno 1868. These teams have played 3 times. They played 3 draws, but obviously you got to get some goals on the board to get that going if you're Reno 1868. But 45 minutes of football left to play here at Greater Nevada Field, and Reno needs to get some energy going and get back into this one. Do you foresee any potential personnel changes, or you have the same people come out there and maybe evaluate how the pace of the match plays, maybe the first 10 minutes or so with regard to substitutions?
I think what they have, they're going to stay with, at least for a little while. I could see if Fresno maybe gets another goal or it starts getting late in the game, I could see them trying out the new players that they just picked up just to get them involved. But if Reno can get a goal back right away, I could see this group staying in, trying to make a run to tie this game up.
Yeah, I forget who it was. I remember we were going over the starting lineups, and you were looking at the Reno starting lineup and said, oh, they're playing this one to win.
Yeah, it felt like they were really going to come out and try to take this game. It vaults them into, put them in, into second, tied for second, and that's where they wanted to be and separate themselves from that bottom group that we were just talking about that's trying to chase and get up into those spots.
So it looks like we do have a substitution. We have Danny Musovsky will check in for Reno. He will replace Brent Richards. So obviously Reno now in the blue kits. They'll move in the opposite direction as they did in the first half. Bersano still the keeper for 1868. So Musovsky squaring off there with Kaffa.
Okay, so they've moved Gleedle to that right defensive spot, right behind Mendiola. We'll see what happens here.
Okay, now you mentioned to me you'd like to see them on the same side. They're on the same side now as Fresno has the possession as we're into the 46th minute.
Well, they tried it on the opposite sides, and I thought it worked out pretty well. They didn't use the left as much as I would like, especially with Lacroix out there. But we'll see what Sam can, add to this right-hand side. He's got the speed to get up into the attack, and then, of course, he's a great defender in the midfield.
Fresno with goals in the 23rd and 35th minute of the first half. Mendiola in the center of the pitch. They'll work the left side, a little give and go action. Mendiola sending it ahead for Herzog, tangled up.
Yeah, frustration foul there. He was probably mad at himself they didn't get a better touch.
Herzog has been prolific with regard to scoring for Reno.
13 goals this year.
5th in the USL. Have you liked what you've seen from CJ Cochran, Brian?
Oh yeah, he's a solid goalkeeper.
The numbers obviously bear it out. I'm just curious as what you've observed. Haven't been many chances that he's been challenged on.
No, but what I have watched is he gets into positions early, so he's always ready for when it does come. And the crosses he's dealt with and made it look simple.
What's impressed me, he communicates really well with his back line.
Well, having a head coach as a goalkeeper, I imagine he gets hammered on that quite a bit. Yeah, he doesn't get to hide back there when you got a goalkeeper.
Is that how you coach?
Well, I'm always looking for that too, because if your goalkeeper can do the right thing, stay active, make sure he's in communication with his defense, make things predictable, you're much better off. All of a sudden, if your goalie becomes quiet, you sometimes lose that confidence and that connection with the back four, and then it causes you problems. But tonight, Fresno's back four, and their goalkeeper's been right on.
They really have. They've really been marking all the 1868 attackers when they've even come anywhere near the zone. Not really any chances for Reno. A couple of rushes we thought could turn into chances, but nothing really materialized for Reno.
They've done a good job of compacting the midfield. Now that they have the lead, they don't have to chase the back four of Reno. They can just wait for Reno to come at them and then force them right or left or funnel them into the middle. They can kind of pick and choose what they want to do.
So Gleedle now playing on the right side. Here's Carroll. We'll send to the middle of the pitch. Now they'll try the right side. Tried the left side last time down.
And see, there was an opportunity right there where Gillespie looked up. Gleedle's on that outside. We just didn't play the ball into the corner for him. It almost seems like Reno should, try to get in behind the defense a little more.
Musovsky checks in, but this one, the cross will go over the top of the goal and roll out of bounds. Another look at that. Lacroix trying to cross to the far post. So Lacroix trying to make something happen for Reno, who trail 2-0 right here. But as Brian Slusser explained, the defense for Los Zorros have things pretty much under control right now. Are there strategies? What are the strategies you use to disrupt a team when they have a lead?
Well, when you get in the final third, it's down to creativity and movement off the ball. The more movement you have off the ball, the faster the ball can move. And then, of course, the more the ball moves, then the defense has to move. And what you were trying to do is trying to catch defenders making mistakes when you're moving the ball quickly. I kind of think of it like Tetris. You start in the beginning, it's really slow and easy, but as it gets faster, you tend to make more mistakes. So it's the same thing here. You want to get up into their final third, move the ball quickly, get movement off the ball, and get them distracted so they make more mistakes.
Mafeka battling with Del Campo. Del Campo's been a stalwart on the back line for Fresno. He and Cochran have played every match together for Fresno FC. 50th minute, 2-0.
But I think Reno here is going to have a little bit harder time. Maybe that's by they moved Mazovsky in so that we have a little bit more air power, because it's going to be really hard to just try to get in on him on the ground, and then with shorter players trying to win crosses and score goals. That wasn't going to be to Reno's advantage.
A little bender right in front of the box. Chavez tangled up with Jinjigian. And now Lacroix runs it down. Kisipli looking outside. Guido trying to run into that one, but over the touchline. Guido does have that energy as we look at Kuramoto.
Yeah, he's got good fitness. He'll run all day long. And that wasn't a bad look from Giuseppe trying to hit him there. I think Guido just didn't see the run fast enough.
Mafeka sends it back. Giuseppe trying to make something happen, and nothing does.
Yeah, sloppy from Seymour there.
Fresno on the counter. Pereira dispossessed by Lacroix. Bersano will restore some order.
I imagine Ian's getting a little frustrated here the last couple of minutes with the decision making. Trying to force things into tight spots, and
sometimes the hardest thing to do is just kind of be present and let the game flow.
Yeah, and simple is right. You try to do, if it's too hard, too complicated, you're probably doing it wrong.
I mean, early in the match when both teams were playing really fluid, you could tell it was almost like more of a feel. And now it clearly seems at times that Reno's kind of thinking a little bit in terms of their decision making, not really letting the game flow.
Yeah, trying to, you get down 2-0 and you want that goal and you start forcing things a little bit. Sometimes you just need to relax. Go ahead. I mean, you got time. We just started the second half, so there's time to get that goal back.
Cooper, his first action for Fresno since July 27th. He'd been injured. Englishman came up in the Liverpool system.
Yeah, left hamstring pull, and we didn't think he was going to be in the game, but he's back.
Elijah Martin battling with Gleedle. Scooches it ahead, does Martin. Kuramoto with the cross. Good disruption there by Lacroix, but Pereira keeps it alive. Fresno with the possession. They have the 2-0 lead. Pereira, not quite what he wanted to happen, but it'll maintain, Fresno will maintain possession. Jackson Enriquez Gonçalves Pereira, the Brazilian. 7's a striker number, right, Brian?
Yeah, it's usually the left side.
Kaffa. Again, opportunity for a set piece. That is his specialty. Right foot. Headed out by Herzog. Kuramoto waiting, but it'll be banged out. And here's the reset for Fresno. Cooper. Send it in front. Sea of boots there. 50-50 ball, and then it's punched out and cleared by Reno. Cochran out to play it for Los Zorros in the 55th minute. 2-0 Fresno. Key matchup in USL Championship Western Conference. Fresno 3 points ahead of Reno.
Great defense from Lacroix there.
And here's Mendiola trying to make something happen. They'll go to Gleedle on the right side. Gleadle, Herzog, and Musovsky all on the pitch together right now for Reno. Need to make something happen. (1868) has not won a match here since July 27th.
Well, it seems now in this game, you really need somebody from Reno to maybe take some players on, try to create something. It's looking a little predictable right now.
Change it up a little bit. Gonna do the counterintuitive thing, perhaps use Fresno's aggressiveness, try to have it work against them. But as you said, they've been pretty stout on the defensive zone. They've really kind of forced Reno to do what they want to do, and it's been fairly manageable.
Yeah, they've done a good job of organizing their defense and making it hard for Reno to get in.
Potential opportunity here for 1868 as Gleadle will get the throw in.
Well, that's sometimes the danger of having possession in the game, especially against more of a counterattack team. They lull you into having the possession, and then they go and strike on you.
Carroll trying to keep it in. Cooper sweeps it out for Fresno. There's Carroll again, and now Jinjingian sends it back in. Matheka back to Seymour for Reno. 57th minute, 2-0. Gleadle right side. Gleadle and Mendiola on the same side. You mentioned this earlier in the match. Nothing developed there. Matheka to Kasipli. Musovsky with a potential opportunity, but snuffed out fairly early. And here's Kaffa.
Oh, and he had Lacroix out there on the left-hand side. He could have played wide open, kept it alive.
Here's the rush up the right side. Into the box. Across for Pereira, but headed out by Gleadle.
Excellent job.
Kaffa sends it in, right post. Dangerous play in front there for Reno. Dangerous in the sense that potential scoring opportunity for Fresno. They're already lead 2-0. Alex Cooper. Kaffa sends in. And now Reno's wise to it. They know what he's going to try to do is Carroll. And now Mendiola sends it back. Here's Kuramoto. Japanese national, working right.
Reno almost got caught again. Gleadle clears it. Don't get pressure on the ball. They let him hit it, and that's what happened in the last two games.
It's all about the follow-up, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, it's great you cleared it, but now you got to step and pressure the ball so they don't get that second opportunity. See there it is again.
Oh, Martin, top of the crossbar, nearly went into the net. They've had success with that kick from the top of the box.
Yeah, I mean, same thing then. Cleared it out. No, get, partial pressure on the ball, not really full pressure, and leave him open on the top of the 18 to hit another one. Fortunate not to be down 3-0.
Fresno just really dominating here in that last sequence. Had a couple of opportunities in the box against Reno. 1868 trying to get something going. Mendiola to Matheka. Now back to Cooper for Fresno. Middle of the pitch, a collision there. That was Musovsky getting a little bit physical.
Yeah.
As he slams Samara.
Yeah, that was Seymour getting physical in there.
Seymour.
He's good about that. That's why he plays that 6.
Good contingent has traveled from Fresno to Reno. It's not bad. The Fresno FC has some good support. First professional soccer team in the San Joaquin Valley. Second year of existence. Samura.
Oh.
Kasipli
Oh,
gets it
that'll
away
get
from
you a
him.
yellow.
And out comes the yellow card. Kasipli went down. Get another look at it. Ooh. Musovski in the shot with Ramon Del Campo. So Musovski from UNLV, Del Campo from UC Davis, a couple of ex-collegians. And now Kaffa and Seymour. Sense of urgency needed for Reno 1868. Don't want to fall any further behind in the match. And potentially don't want to fall any further behind in the standings, Brian.
No, and well, now that a couple players have picked up yellow cards from the Fresno team, it might be a good idea to really take it at them because they can't foul you again. And if they pick up a red card, that would be to Reno's benefit.
Ball scoots ahead. Nice job by Bersano there, kind of just surrounded, but looked like Chavez may have been bearing down and may have had an opportunity.
Bersano just seems a little off tonight. He almost just fell down over his own feet there.
That first goal had to have him shook a little bit. Not being able to control, and then Chavez just waiting there on the doorstep in the 23rd minute to make it 1-0 in favor of Fresno. Then 35th minute on the penalty kick, Kaffa did the job and made it 2-0. And Fresno had a couple of really good scoring chances a few moments ago. Reno needs to get some energy going.
That's a good ball.
Musovski wants the foul and didn't get it.
Yeah, he did get pushed from the back there, and considering the penalty kick that they gave it, that matched that one. Just could have been PK there as well.
Reno get an opportunity here to maybe make something happen. Musovski. .50-50 ball between Samura and Mafeka. Good energy.
That was good from Musovski to take on players there. We got to kind of switch it up and not just pass it around. The passing has been a little bit slow.
Tune to ESPN3 on September 11th for an electrifying edition of Wednesday Night Soccer. High-flying Phoenix Rising FC heads to Las Vegas to meet the Lights in an action-packed Western Conference showdown. See it all September 11th during Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN3. 7 p.m. local time here in Reno, if you want to catch that. Right now, 64th minute, Fresno 2-0 over Reno, and an injury situation is Ellis Hayden down. Both teams coming in off a loss. Fresno, at least before their loss, Brian, was playing pretty well. They'd gone 4 straight matches unbeaten. They'd won 3 and drew 1. Reno, of course, we know they've lost their last 3 and 4 of their last 6, trying to kind of just regain their footing.
Yeah, I think Fresno's success has been on the defensive side, as you can see. They've really sewed things up, made it hard for them teams to get through. They're not giving up goals. We were already talking about that. 5th in the league. As they say, defense wins championships.
I just have to make reference to that as we get closer to the end of the season. We got the postseason coming up. And if you're Fresno, you got to be feeling pretty good, because when you get in a postseason situation, it's all about how you play defense.
Yeah, you either want to be not giving up goals or you want to be like Phoenix, just scoring multiple goals.
Man, isn't that what they've done? Incredible. Crossing opportunity for Mendiola, but right there to impede. He gets wide and sends it ahead, looking for Musovski, but Ellis Hayden makes the play. Musovski came on in the second half, replacing Brent Richards. And now a corner opportunity, set piece. Kasipli will send it into the 6-yard area.
Well, I didn't see Richards pick up an injury. I know he was injured, he came back a few weeks ago. And I wonder if he just re-aggravated it, or maybe they're just trying something new with Gleadle out there on the right.
Yeah, I mean, you got Gleadle, Musovski, and Herzog all out there together trying to make something happen, down 2-0 into the 66th minute. I mean, and then you get a sense of urgency here because obviously the first goal is everything, right? You want to get one before Fresno gets one. But even if you make it 2-1, you want to leave yourself an ample amount of time to potentially play for that draw.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Sergio Rivas has come in for Seth Kasipli.
Mendiola on net, deflected. Sends it back in front for Musovski battling. Cooper heads it out for Fresno, and Martin will clear it. So that's what you're talking about. That's what Reno wasn't able to do on the first save when it came out. Martin's able to clear it back, so there's no second opportunity.
Yeah, he did well to push it off to the side. I'm sure the goalkeeper would rather have him catch that one. It looked catchable.
Fresno with 2 first-half tallies as Mendiola sends it ahead. Mendiola and Mafeka getting a little bit creative here as we creep past the 67th minute. Here's Mendiola again, middle of the pitch, in front. Mafeka dispossessed. And now counter for Fresno, but Lacroix will run it down. Pereira behind him drags him down, and the whistle. Are they going to give the yellow card to Lacroix?
Yeah, just pulled him there. He can be mad, but he did get him. It looks like he's cramping up as well.
Now Herzog's saying we need to get that same call.
Yeah, he's probably going back to that penalty that they thought you should have had.
So Duke Lacroix picks up a yellow card. 68th minute. And now you mentioned Rivas entering the game for Reno 1868. So Rivas from Chihuahua, Mexico, into the match for Reno. Ian Russell pushing some buttons. The long ball into the box. Herzog bearing down on Cochran, who comes up with it. Del Campo's been impressive. He's a big physical guy playing on that back line for Fresno. Kind of anchors that back line, Brian.
Yeah, he's done a good job tonight, holding down that defense. And I'd like to see some Reno players take some guys one-on-one when they get them in those situations. Put some pressure on that back line.
I'll tell you, Mendiola and Mafeka are trying. They're trying to get something going.
I mean, you want your possession to be good, but the whole point of possession is to get your better players 1v1 so they can get in behind and then create 2-on-1 situations.
Gleadle fighting, and it's knocked out over the touchline. He was battling with Alex Cooper there. A couple of guys with English roots.
Yeah, they got quite a few internationals on this Fresno team.
Gleadle played at your alma mater, the University of New Mexico.
Yeah. A hometown with green chilies.
Played for Albuquerque in the USL as well. He must have liked it out there.
It's a nice spot.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot like here. You know, you got your high desert, beautiful mountains. Here you just happen to have a little bit more water.
So Diego Casillas checks in for Jackson Pereira. Casillas from Delano, California. He's a great underdog story for Fresno. Is kind of an undersized kid, had to go the JC route, ended up at Cal State San Bernardino, set all kinds of records there, and still had to kind of struggle to get an opportunity. Named for Diego Maradona. Jinjigian for Reno sends it ahead. Off of Rivas.
We were talking off air how important it is for kids to find places that fit them where they can develop and grow. And it seems like, you know, it sounds like he found the right route.
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting story because his mom brought the family over from Mexico. His father died when he was very, very young, and soccer was kind of his escape. And just from the beginning, he was always an underdog, but had that tenacity. You know, grew up with a lot of siblings. I think he had 6 siblings. And just, you know, when you're the youngest of 6, you learn some things, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah, you learn to think outside the box and figure out a way to get what you want when you got 6 brothers or sisters.
72nd minute. Here's Cooper for Fresno. Cooper and Gleadle battling. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with Gleadle, just his tenacity. He won't back down from anybody.
He's hard to beat. He's quick, and he can beat you 1v1. I like the idea of bringing him out to the right side, something I hadn't thought of before, and he's doing a good job. But he's been a guy, you know, kind of same thing. He spent some time developing, could have went maybe somewhere else and tried, but he stuck it out with Reno, and it's paying dividends. He's getting into the lineup more, becoming more productive.
Obviously, the elite guys are scouted when they're fairly young. Coach, what's your feeling on college soccer? A lot of college guys on the pitch tonight.
Well, I mean, college soccer is a great place to develop. I mean, you've got a lot of Europeans that are coming here.
We were talking about that earlier.
To come here, develop in our college system, because you show up at a D1 school and they've got just as good of facilities for training as any of the pro programs. So they get an education, they get to develop, and then all of a sudden you see these Europeans even going back to their countries and making appearances for their national team. And sometimes, as a young player, you just need those couple of years to develop, either physically or mentally. And so the Europeans are taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and the international route, it's helped some of those kind of mid-major teams elevate to where they can compete against some of those Power 5 teams in the big conferences. It's a huge difference. Here's Gleadle battling 1-on-3.
Yes, you see those players come in, make a name for themselves at maybe a junior college or NAIA or Division II level.
Yeah. A lot of college out there, Coach, to play at.
Yep. All of a sudden, they're the leading scorer and on their team and in their conference, and eyes start looking at them from the D1 level. And then they get into there.
I mean, it's changed. The perception has changed, because I know for a long time there wasn't viewed as something you wanted to go to if you were elite, really good prospect. College, something that you wouldn't want to necessarily do. But now the players at the D1 level are so much better. They're bigger, more physical, and just the overall quality of play, I think, has improved greatly. And it's helped leagues like the USL.
Yeah, and if they could, eventually change the rules where these guys can train all year, and I mean, that's probably what hampers them the most, is they got too many breaks. And from 17 on, you have most of the players around the world start playing with professionals.
Right.
And a lot of our guys are still playing high school and then college and not at that pro level. But it's good to see that it's getting better.
We just got our first look at Luis Baradela, the Cuban national, his first time on the 18, and now Gleadle gets whistled for a foul as he's tangled up with Elijah Martin. Let's see what this is.
Yeah, I didn't even see him touch him there.
So Martin goes down. In the shot is Luis Paradela. He's from Calimete, Cuba. So he and Matthias Triani were both added to the 18 today. Triani just signed out of Germany by Reno 1868. Some new blood coming in late in the season, perhaps to give Reno a little bit of a push into the postseason.
Yeah, and I think he might bring some experience. He's 26 years old. Played in Germany. So hopefully he can bring that experience to Reno and help him out towards this end of the season.
Another opportunity for Fresno. Bersano, just beyond the left post, makes that save. Now Reno on the counter. Gleedle working the right side with Mafeka. Now Reno resets. 76th minute. 2-0 Fresno. Energy seems to have come back. Seymour. Baradella trying to make something happen. Mafeka. Reno fighting to keep it in. Headed out by Casillas for Fresno. Casillas battling with Lacroix.
We saw Luis try to get in there and attack him, and then Fresno did a great job of closing down the space. And then what Reno needed to do there is just bring it back out, stretch him out again. But instead, they just kept forcing it in there and lost it. But I've been really impressed with Fresno's defense tonight.
You pointed out to me before the game, you said you talked about Ramon Del Campo, and he's just kind of been just a tower of strength for them back there. The communication with him and Cochran, all the other players kind of take their cues from those two guys on the back line for Fresno.
Well, you can see why they never come out.
Yeah. I mean, I think they both played every match, right?
Every minute of every match. So they're definitely the backbone to that defense.
That's got to be helpful when you just write a guy's name on the lineup and you know that he's going to be there for 90 minutes and he's going to give no quarter to anybody else around there.
Yeah, and those are hard to find. Day in and day out, minute to minute, you know what you're going to get out of them.
Like every sport has their tough guys, quote unquote, and those backline guys, man, if you can find a couple of them that can mix it up the way Ramon Del Campo was doing tonight, man, you put a smile on your face. Right?
Yeah.
Lawal about to check in. Kudus Lawal, the Nigerian by way of Chicago, who replaces Jaime Chavez. So Lawal moved to this country as a high schooler to go play high school soccer in, of all places, Chicago, and led his team to a state championship. Rivas. Clock now becoming a factor in this game. 2-0 Fresno as we move to the 79th minute. Thanks for joining us. Ghazal Hassan, Brian Slusser with you. Nevada Sports Net. Thanks to our entire production team and crew, just doing a fantastic job bringing this USL Championship action to you. Masovsky. This is Lacroix. Trying to line it up, left foot in front to Mendiola. Mendiola chips it ahead. Chipped out. Lacroix again. Just wide of the right post. Not the chance you're looking for there, Coach, huh?
No, not exactly. And just before that, when the ball was a little bit further back, the forwards are all dropping in trying to receive the ball. No one's even trying to get in behind. There needs to be a little bit more teamwork there, watching each other move on and off the ball. If one's checking, the other one should be trying to get in behind, and it looks like they're all kind of doing the same thing at the same time there.
Now, does that happen because they haven't played together? Is that maybe part of it? Or
a lot of, these guys are professionals. They need to be scanning the field better.
Right.
When they don't have the ball, they need to be checking their shoulders and seeing what spaces, not only that they can get in, but spaces they can create for others.
Cochran again with his hands on it. Really haven't been challenged much, but defensively, as Brian mentioned, I mean, Fresno's been pretty stout. Casillas battling Rivas over there. Lacroix against Lowell, and now here's Janjigian.
Reno's been pretty satisfied with what they've already done. They know they don't have to go and score any more goals. They just have to stay solid on defense, keep possession when they can, run out as much of the clock as possible. You know, I would think since Fresno's not really throwing bodies forward and they're kind of staying back, it'd be interesting to see if Ian starts pushing more players forward trying to get a goal.
In 81st minute, we'll have some extra time. There's a little bit of a delay going on right now. So Kaffa will leave the game for Fresno. He'll be replaced by Emir Alihodzic. I think just looking back in hindsight, Brian, that first goal was really big for Fresno just in terms of how it swung this match.
Well, yeah, any first goal always, sets the stage what's going to happen next.
Just both teams coming off a loss, having not had much offensive success in their recent games. I think it really was imperative for Reno to kind of get off to a positive, quick start, and they weren't able to do it as we see the substitution as the Argentine Kaffa leaves the game.
Well, and any time you have a good defense and you can get that early goal, it takes a weight off your shoulders.
Well, it's all idea of confidence. You're not pressing because you kind of know what's at hand.
I mean, Fresno's not, they're not a team that scores a lot of goals, but they know if they get one, they can keep you out.
Yeah.
So the confidence goes up, you shut things down, then you start looking for those counterattacks.
I mentioned coming in, Reno had scored 12 more goals on the season than Fresno. Sails over the net. Luval with the opportunity. Bersano with a nice play. Bats it up in the air and then goes and gets it.
That was good from Bersano to be in the right place at the right time. Defense, definitely the defense could have been better. Two Blues there and not one of them there to challenge the header.
Well, and look at the two guys who were there bearing down on Musovski. It was Del Campo and Cochran. And just the communication flawless as well as Kurimoto, the Japanese national, now sends it ahead for Cooper.
It almost looks at this point, Fresno's, so dialed in, they don't, the communication doesn't even have to happen.
Right.
They just know where they're going to, that guy's going to be there for you all the time. And that's what you got to know about your team is that they're going to do what they need to do consistently over and over again. They're not going to surprise you by not doing it.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2020 to 22 season. The USL is excited to announce the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. So Reno trying to set up an opportunity here in the 84th minute. Gleadle on the right side.
Hey, again, choosing to force it down the line instead of just playing back and around. And I know they're running out of time here and they're trying to get in there.
Mendiola with a roller up the right side. And look at Del Campo just waiting there. Musovski challenges him. And Cooper directing traffic, coming back off the injury. Gleadle with a play.
It's good from the Cuban.
Mafeka And just they're right there again.
Yeah. And defense is nice and compact. And the only way is to try to get around them. And Reno's just not doing a good enough job of spreading the ball around, moving the ball quickly. And now with 5-6 minutes, they'll be content to just sit back, park the bus, keep the ball out of their goal.
Crossing, and then Martin sends it out for Fresno. Gleedle.
Well, now they've pretty much dropped into a 4-5-1.
First 3 matches between these two clubs, all draws. 2 goals scored tonight. There were 2 goals scored when these teams got together on March 23rd. Both by Reno, except one was an own goal, so it ended up a 1-1 draw. So the second place team will hold serve in a sense. Fresno came in leading Reno by 3 points, and they'll pick up 3 more here this evening.
That was a good movement from Reno, but then better from Fresno. Snuffing it out.
The wall down. Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, the USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Del Campo sends it in. You know, talking to you, Brian, was fun because you talk a lot about development, and that's one of the ways that the USL is going to start developing more talent. You know, you kind of get it together at the youth level, up to the club level, the college level. A lot of good soccer being played around the country.
Yeah, and those key areas right now, as you know, as U.S. soccer's we got to do a better job from that 6 to 12 range.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once our development gets better in those age groups, then we'll start to see the U.S. national team and USL and MLS start to get a lot better.
Rivas, quick touch there by Mafeka. Mendiola bearing down on the wide side. And Del Campo just waiting there. Gleedle trying to make something happen. Crosses it in front. Opportunity, but Musovski was right there, but it got past him, and then Lacroix didn't really have a good scoring chance. Nice job here by Gleedle to create an opportunity. A little bit late.
Well, and that's what we were talking about, getting somebody trying to get behind the defense, take people on. Great cross there from Gleedle. Unfortunately, no one could get a foot on it.
88th minute as Fresno leads 2-0. Cochran explaining what he needs from his teammates and send it out. '89th minute. We'll find out fairly soon how much they're going to add.
Well, he didn't have too many injuries, so can't see too much time being added on.
Mendiola sends it wide for Lacroix. He figured something out. He sends it in for Musovski. The header. So Musovski in the 89th minute. Musovski, a substitution for the second half, comes in for Richards. Let's watch it again.
Well, great from Lacroix to get around the outside, hit a perfect cross to Musovski, who just puts it away with his head. And we haven't seen much of that tonight. And that's something I talked about in the last broadcast was getting Lacroix and Richards, forward, coming out of the back. And here we go. We get them going and get a goal.
Well, Musovski saw that cross from Gleedle a few moments earlier, and he was not going to be denied on that one as it finds the back of the net. So Reno on the board.
Well, might be too little too late, depending on how much added time we get, but.
Well, now Fresno's got to step it up a little bit. They've been sitting back content to sit back, and they'll probably still do it. All they want to do is prevent the score, but
yeah, it's just a couple more minutes probably left, and they probably feel like they can defend at least for a couple more minutes and keep Reno out of the goal.
And that's what you got to like about a guy like Lacroix, because he just kept on coming.
And he's been that guy all season long. He's been another one that just, plays every match, every minute, gives you everything he has. Dangerous coming out of the back.
Lacroix from New Jersey, an Ivy Leaguer. Played college soccer at Penn. We were talking about college soccer earlier. 28 games last year with Reno. So 4 minutes. Here we go. 91st minute.
Well, that's enough time to get another goal.
Reno with a tally from Danny Musovsky, the Nevada native, in the 89th minute to make it a 2-1 match. Reno with 2 scores in the first half, 23rd and 35th minute. And how big is that penalty that turned into that penalty kick by Kaffa now, Brian?
Yeah, it's becoming a big deal.
I mean, it always was a big deal. It was a big deal in the first half, too, but the late goal as Rivas will advance. Let's see if Gleadle can make something happen. Mendiola, nice job by Rivas to try to drop it off with the heel.
Reno can't really feel horrible about, the way they played. You take 2 mistakes.
How about that? Musovsky again. Lacroix again sets it up. It's almost like they ran the same play, Brian Slusser.
Yeah, it was. It's the Lacroix-Musovsky show for the last 5 minutes.
Seemingly innocent, just a little chip, and Musovsky right place at the right time, and he beats Ramon Del Campo.
Well, that's great recognition from Reno. We were talking about they're trying to go inside too much, and they needed to try to go around, and they get around. Sam Gleadle gives it a try going around that side. Then Lacroix gets around on the left, get a goal, does it again, and still enough time to get a third the way they're playing.
That was big, a big lift for 1868. Musovsky, how about that, Brian?
I guess these teams are just meant to tie. Oh, don't foul. Ah, finally.
So Bersano. Oh, wow. And Mendiola did not look happy, neither does Gleadle. Their teammate down. They want the foul. Let's take a look.
Well, again.
Here's the goal. Musovsky. Lightning strikes twice. 89th, 92nd minute.
Yeah, I think the ref, he might be calling the first foul here and not the second one.
So Zach Carroll with the yellow.
Yeah, it looked like Carroll got his arms around him, and they didn't call it, but then he got him again. Well, if Bersano's going to make up for his mistake, this is a good time to do it.
So penalty kick awarded to Ali Hodzik. Got it. He came in to replace Kaffa. Kaffa had the penalty kick in the first half in the 35th minute. Now he gets it here in the 94th minute, and the Reno fans don't like his celebration. So things have kind of opened up here late in the match. 2 goals by Musovsky, then another penalty called in the box against 1868. And Amir Ali Hodzik with the penalty kick and the score. Another look at it.
Well, he may not want to turn away. There could be another goal here soon. The way this is ending up.
Strange things happening at sundown here.
That's really unfortunate.
Looks like another yellow card coming out. So we thought Reno had kind of redeemed themselves here, but the penalty allows Fresno to retake the lead. So the yellow on Ali Hajic for the excessive celebration. Cochran's going to cradle it as long as he can. So we've gone beyond the 4 minutes we thought, but obviously there were a couple of scores. Seymour going to send it ahead. Middle of the pitch. Mafeka couldn't quite get it. The Campo there. Gleedle holding it on the right side. And that'll be the final. And now Musovski getting into it with a couple of the Fresno guys. Rivas steps in.
Oh.
Somebody thought they got a cheap shot.
Yeah, he's got a mouthful of blood.
Mickey Daly.
Yeah.
Well, they made it interesting late, Brian. That's all we can say.
Dude, it was exciting. I mean, it was a pretty exciting game overall, and especially at the end. And to tell you the truth, I think Reno deserved to at least get a 2-2 draw here.
No moral victories really in the USL Championship. It is what it is. But if you're a Reno 1868 fan, there's a lot of positives you can take out of it. This team down 2-0. They got into the 89th minute and picked up 2 goals to tie the game.
Yeah, they didn't give up. They stayed professional, and that's what you want to see going into the playoffs because there's going to be tough moments, and they're still in the hunt. They got 2 goals back. They're unfortunate there. Another penalty kick. I mean, 2 penalty kicks and a mistake.
Yeah.
So they can't feel real bad about the way they played. There's some things that obviously they could have done better, but overall, I mean, they should have really come away with a 2-2 draw at the very least.
What did you think? You told me your thoughts in the first half. What were your thoughts on the yellow to Carroll that set up that second penalty kick?
I'd like to see it again. I mean, when I first saw it, in my mind I was saying, "Oh, don't foul him."
Uh-huh.
And sure enough, he kind of grabbed him there, and then the ref let it go, and I thought, well, we got away with it. And then it looked like it kind of tripped him up. So I don't know. I'm not sure if the ref was calling the first foul and letting it play on to see if he could get away and score, and then called it back. So it's just.
From a coaching perspective, the way the game ended, you came away on the wrong side of it. But obviously those 2 goals late, Reno figured something out. We'll get a look at some highlights. Here's the foul.
Well, now looking at that, I would say that foul probably should have gone the other way.
So that was the foul that set up the penalty kick. So here's the first cross to Musovski. And remember, a few moments before that, Gleedle had an opportunity that he was looking for Musovski. Musovski couldn't quite get to the ball on that one, but Musovski scores on that one. And then another angle on that first goal. This came in the 89th minute. And then about 3 minutes later, Reno with another opportunity, and it was again Musovski, who was a second-half substitution. And there was the penalty kick. That was the ultimate margin of victory for Fresno. 3-2. A wild and woolly finish here at Greater Nevada Field, Brian Slusser.
Yeah, exciting finish, exciting, game overall. It's pretty much what we thought it would be. A good defensive counterattack team. Reno with possession. Just couldn't break them down early. Got unfortunate at the beginning of the game with mistakes and a penalty kick. But they found their way back. And unfortunate there at the last minute, just couldn't hold on to the tie.
You got to give credit to Reno 1868. They battled tonight. Fresno came in just playing a little bit better, and the margin of victory for Los Zorros was oh so slim at the end of that one. That went into extra time here in the second half. Thoughts coming back on Tuesday, the quick turnaround for Reno 1868. Need to get that win against Tacoma.
Yeah, they definitely need a win now. But tonight's game showed that 2 playoff teams played each other tonight. 3-2, a good battle. They'll take lessons from it and hopefully come back and go to the drawing board and come out and win next week.
Perhaps the late flurry gets the offense going for Reno. They'll be back here on Tuesday to wrap up this 3-game homestand. The final tonight, Fresno 3, Reno 2. Second place team knocks off the third place team, and so Fresno now with a 6-point lead on Reno 1868. Sitting in for Alex Margulies, my name is Ghazal Hassan. Been a pleasure to work with Brian Slusser and our entire crew here on the Nevada Sports Net.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.